Hi, I'm Amy Rodriguez. Thank you for joining me today for our overview of accelerated math. This is my 24th year of teaching. This right here is my husband, Phil Rodriguez. He is a social studies teacher here. And these are my two daughters, Ella and Lily. They're 14 and 12, a sophomore and a sixth grader. They're very different styles of learning, which I think exposes me to more of what it's to parent and to have different types of learners. I think it skipped slide 3. Accelerated math covers all of Math 7 and about half of Math 8. During the school year, we'll have some tests to check in to see how well they're understanding. When we're not under distance learning, we do really want those checkpoints met. For students who don't meet those checkpoints, we sometimes recommend Math 8 instead of Algebra 1 the 8th grade year. Everything's a little bit different because of distance learning. Sixth graders prior to distance learning had 90 minutes of math per day with the teacher in the room. And your student now is doing a year and a half worth of curriculum with 2 or 3 class meetings of 50 minutes each. So you can see the massive amount of difference of time. This is 450 minutes a week, and this is 100 to 150 minutes per week, and they're going to be learning 1.5 times the information. So it's going to be a challenge. Support them as best you can and communicate with me. This is my parent website. Please check that out. It has some helpful links to it. If they're absent, there's some links to the assignment pages and other information. This is what the student's classroom digitally looks like. This is where I house the agenda that tells them what they're doing every day. They'd want to click on this if they were absent to figure out what went on today in class. This is where a lot of the homework assignments are housed. But it is not the grading program, and we'll talk more about that. I think some parents are going to get confused that Canvas is where the grades are at, and that's still in Q Parent Connect. Starting next week, we'll have some math help. Their math help is between 2 and 2:30, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. This is our online textbook. And it's formerly known as Digits, but it's now Pearson Easy Bridge Savas Realize. And this is what the kids click on to get into class. Notice the help link is different than the class period link. Grades are still in Q. You can get into Q through your parent connection or through the Q student connection, but you're going to want to check that out from time to time because those assignments are housed in Canvas, and some of those have grades on them, but still the grade in the class is in Q Parent Connection. A little confusing for people this year, I think. Again, this is our online textbook. You didn't pick up a book when you did book pick up, and it's more like half of the assignments, I would say, for this class are done in Pearson Easy Bridge. And if a student gets 85% or above, they're given full credit. So sometimes an accelerated student is a perfectionist and they want to get 100%. That's great if they have the time, but they don't have to. Sometimes questions aren't good and they're confusing for some reason, so it's okay to let them go. If you're having a particularly bad day, it's okay to submit something with a 6 out of 10. No, I'm not going to give you full credit. But 1 6 on a homework assignment is not going to kill your grade. So let your student know it's okay not to be perfect. They will be sending images of their work in. So being graded for effort, being that I still will be looking at their work, that it needs to have a full effort to it. Okay, this is more about that help time, and I still went over it. This is the help time block, but for accelerated class, our windows between 2 and 2:30, so that I can separate the kids in what I'm helping them with. So 2 to 2:30 for accelerated. And then I would recommend a scientific calculator by second quarter for accelerated. Our first quarter, I won't be wanting them to use a calculator because we're working in number sense. Any type of calculator is fine. I recommend scientific so it lasts for a couple years. If they refuse to get their own handheld one, these buttons are a lot easier to push than your phone one. But if they're going to use their phone, I recommend the free app Desmo Scientific. Use the scientific, not the graphing. Graphing is what they would want to use in high school, and maybe even a couple lessons next year. A notebook would be much appreciated, and an expo marker would be appreciated as well. There's many different ways to accelerate through class. So if I have a student who's like, this is just not the right pacing for me, they can go to regular Math 7 and they can accelerate by taking Algebra 1 and Geometry together at the high school, or taking Geometry and Algebra 2. So there are other ways to accelerate. This is one example of a course way through high school, but again, there's examples. These two, Geometry and Algebra 2, can be taken together. You can skip pre-calc and take an Algebra 2 pre-calculus combo course. So there's a lot of different options for how to get to where you want to be at the end of high school in the area of math. One of the last things I want to talk to you about is this is not always the right class for everyone. About 85% of the students said it definitely was the right thing for them. A few more said, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. But 10% of the class may not be in the right fit. And it's okay for them to say, I think I'd like to go to Math 7, that it would have been better for me. And we can get that schedule change done. It's sometimes I'm going to ask them to hold on for a little while to find the best time for that to occur. We don't learn concepts in the same order as Math 7 does. So sometimes I'll say, can you hang on for another month and just I'll shorten your homework so that it's a better, more convenient time for you to switch classes and not miss concepts. Lastly, communication. The best way to communicate is have your student communicate with me in Canvas. Parents can also communicate through that parent app in Canvas, or they could always just straight email me. Two ways as you as a parent can stay connected is by getting that Canvas parent app for assignments, but know that you still should really look at the Q parent connection, or better yet, have your student log on to the Q student connection and have them check either grades in Q once every couple weeks or once a week. If you have any questions, please email me. I appreciate you taking the time to watch my video.